I love my Trailmaster, but I hate these fucking pegs. Not only are they just too small for my feet, but the placement of them is awful. I was riding on the back ones, but since I did the air intake and the exhaust, there's no way I'm doing that anymore. So I found these pegs on accident. It was a Amazon recommended suggestion thing, $65. Their only bad reviews were just saying that they didn't fit the thing that they were intended for, which was a Honda ATC 70. So I picked these up and they're incredibly strong. The world is going to break before the pegs do. So I got pretty lucky on this. The rear set of holes just needed to be drilled out on each side, and then I got extended bolts and bolted them in. Now the bolts are on the engine, so you can't really be using this with only bolts. Not only does it have no real side-to-side protection even when it's cranked all the way down there, but you definitely don't want your bolts attached, your engine bolts attached to something that's having all these different like pressures applied to it. But if you weld these on, the steel plate that the pegs are mounted to just becomes a giant washer, and then you don't really have to worry about the same issues. So busted out the old mobile welding setup, and goddamn Tesla owners are just too smart. They completely saw through my attempt to stir up a shitstorm on the Facebook with my faked Tesla welder. But oh well, it is what it is. The beauty of these is that they can mount as forward of the frame as possible before it transitions up into the angle that'll go to your bars, which makes it so that you effectively get an extra 4 or 5 inches that doesn't exist on the motorcycle itself. So not only does it move it forward and up a little bit, but you clear the ground issues. The people who do pegs on the absolute bottom, you can run into issues where you're banging your pegs on the ground. And these are pretty wide. I actually really like this style, and I have it on my other Hondas. So the way I went about it is bolted these on first, and then welded them on, and then took the bolts off to make sure that the welds were good. And they absolutely weren't. It fell right off immediately. This was my first welding project ever. It was something that I've wanted to do for a long time, so I wasn't expecting it to really work out very well, and after 3 attempts I was able to get it where it was actually solid. If you don't have a welder, it's super easy to just hop on Craigslist, go to the gas station, go to a muffler shop, and be like, hey, will you just zap some welds on this real quick? So yeah, when I was done with all of that, I added some paint to the frame to make sure that it wouldn't rust or anything like that, and the top I noticed was chipping just a little bit, so I went ahead and just sanded down the top of the pegs, which gave it a really nice finish, and I really like the way that it turned out in the end. But these are by far the best off-road pegs that I've ever run into ever for any sort of off-road mini bike. If you're on the street, I don't know how much this is really going to help you, but if you're going off-road, this is the best solution I've seen for the Trailmaster. And nothing against the weld-on kit. If you want interchangeable pegs or folding pegs, that's definitely the way to go. But hopefully you learned something. If you did, a like is greatly appreciated. You know, I'm a really new channel here, and that kind of stuff really helps me with the algorithm. So like and subscribe, and most importantly of all, suck a daisy.